We recently saw the news about you endorsing the MP for Asin Central. Is that really what it is?
No, I never endorsed Ken Agyapong, but I commended him. You see, we are having an admixture of presidential and parliamentary systems. In the strict presidential system, the U.S. is the flagship of presidential systems in the world, as you do know. Yes. And in the U.S., before you become the president, you ought to have maybe been a governor of a state or a legislator belonging to the House of Reps or a senator, both of them legislators, or maybe a vice president. Mm-hmm. These three categories of people are the people who become presidents. Now, I think a couple of years ago, the U.S., after all this long history of having these three classes of people as their presidents, decided to change track a bit. And they brought in Donald Trump, who had no experience in parliament. He had no experience as a governor. He had no experience as a former vice president. He was just a businessman. So he paraded himself. And perhaps the people were tired of their own conventions and practices and wanted to change track a bit. They voted for him. So when Ken came to my constituency, I was saying, I related to these facts and said that he's a long-serving member of parliament. Indeed, on my side, that's the MPP side, I'm the longest serving, as you have alluded to. But immediately after me, that's the next succeeding generation includes, and there are just two of them, who came in 2001. Ken Agyapong himself and K.T. Hammond. Okay. They are 6-term members of parliament, continuously. So I was relating to that and saying that he's a long-serving member of parliament, and he's gathered some experience as a parliamentarian. And that being the case, he qualifies to contest as a presidential candidate, alluding to the conventions and practices in the U.S. And I said, just like Donald Trump, a businessman, became a president, I said, well, in Ghana here, his entrepreneurship is also acclaimed. He's a businessman. So if you want a businessman, again, he qualifies. So I said, on these two legs, Ken Agyapong qualifies to contest. That's all that I said. Even as far as I am concerned, I even told them, but as far as my vote is concerned, Ken knows where I stand. So that's how we left it. And I was surprised to see that stories were, out there saying that I had endorsed Ken Agyapong. I commended him, and even alluded to his benevolence, and said to the people that there was one school that I constructed at Swami. And I was telling them for the first time, and when we had difficulties raising money to do it, it was who loaned us 200 million at the time. Now, the situation will be about 20,000. After we had done one and we had not been paid, the contractor had not been paid, and the contractor was looking for money to begin the second one, I went to Ken, who gave a loan to the contractor through me, and afterwards he was paid back. So I related to that, but that is no, and that is not an endorsement. We'll just do some recommendation. Okay.